All right, students, here we go. The very last module, module 13, the very last lecture video covering the evolution of our species, anatomically modern Homo sapiens. We'll talk about our cranial anatomy, what makes us human, fossil evidence in each one of these regions, major continents of the world, and then the genetic evidence for human evolution. Here are the important features that make you anatomically modern Homo sapiens or Homo sapiens and indistinguishable from every other hominid or fossil. If you look at us, we have a nice flat vertical forehead. That's because we have more expansion of the neocortex here in the front of our brain. We also have a prominent chin, a bony protrusion right in the front of our lower jaw. No other hominid has this. Neanderthals don't have a chin, and neither do heidelbergensis or any of those other creatures. We also have a much more rounded cranium and reduced face, teeth, as well as region in the back of the neck. And the average cranial capacity of anatomically modern Homo sapiens is 1350 cc's. When you look at fossils attributed to us, the oldest ones are found in Africa. Matter of fact, some of the oldest ones now date to even 300,000 years at Jebel Hood, but the general range of them is between 100 and 200,000. There's material at Herto in Ethiopia that dates to about 160,000 years, and then at the Omo River in Ethiopia dates to about 190,000 years. We also have evidence of Homo sapiens leaving Africa or the African continent about 90 to 100,000 years because we have fossils at Kabza and Shul in Israel that demonstrate this. It also looks like Homo sapiens makes it to Europe at about 35 to 40,000 years. This means that they likely coincided with Neanderthals during this time. If we were to show a map that on the left had Heidelbergensis or archaic Homo sapiens, and then each one of these continents kind of filling in what it looks like from Heidelbergensis to us, it looks like, of course, Neanderthals, they have roots in Heidelbergensis fossils in Europe. So it looks like Heidelbergensis in Europe evolved into Neanderthals. And then Neanderthals actually are moving in parts of Europe and the Middle East, depending on the fluctuation of the glaciers. And this also means that humans interacted with Neanderthals in Europe and potentially even parts of the Near East. We know that human evolution occurred in Africa into anatomically modern Homo sapiens, and then Homo sapiens began to leave and go to other continents. You see a bunch of question marks in Asia because we need a lot more fossils, and we are finding some now. So the picture in Asia might be much more clear in our lifetime. Well, let's look at the genetic evidence. If we were to look at the DNA of chimpanzees, Neanderthals, and humans and compare them to each other, we would first see that there's the last common ancestor of the genus Homo and Pan, which is 4 to 6 million years on this chart, or right, I had 5 to 7, 5 to 8. It looks like Neanderthals and humans, right, and it's like modern humans, branch away from each other about 55 to almost 700,000 years. So look at it. It doesn't look like we evolved from Neanderthals. It looks like Neanderthals are like some type of sister taxon, right? And we've got continuity and evolving from Heidelbergensis in Europe into Neanderthals. And we've got the diversification of humans about 120 to 150,000 years. That is about the same time range for the evolution of our species. So the oldest fossils are found in Africa, and the oldest lineages of humans on this planet are found in Africa. This is a chart looking at mitochondrial DNA that's only inherited from the female line. You can look at the base of the tree. All of the oldest lineages are found in Africa. And at about 38,500 years, you have the common origin of every other population that is European, Asian, Australian, or from the Americas. So what this means is that human evolution likely occurred in Africa into our species. And then as you move away from Africa geographically, DNA gets less diverse more and more, and those populations are much younger. That DNA also gives us a proxy for time. And so it looks like human evolution occurs, what, 200,000 years ago or so. 100,000 begins, Homo sapiens begins leaving the continent of Africa and going to other places, populating other parts of the world. We have good evidence at Kobza and Shul from fossils that date to 90 to 100,000 years in Israel. And so that makes really good sense with the DNA. 40,000 years in Europe. Well, the Cro-Magnon skull in France dates to 35,000 years. It looks like we make it to Asia in 50 to 60,000, into Australia, 40,000, maybe older, 50, 60,000 years. This chart is about 20 years old. We've actually found even older stuff archaeologically on Australia, maybe date going back 60 to 70,000 years. So DNA predicted it 2 decades ago, and now we're actually finding it in the ground archaeologically. It looks like humans make it into the New World at the oldest, right, the Americas, 35,000 years ago, and we predict that there was this type of migration from like Siberia through the Bering land bridge or strait into the Americas, um, because when we look at American Indian or Native American populations, when we look at them compared to other groups, they look most closely related to the Asian continent, and so that links them to this kind of major migration into the Americas.